This is not a theory. This is real footage from Antarctica. Something was discovered under miles of ice that was never supposed to exist. Far beneath one of the most hostile environments on Earth, a research expedition began with a simple objective: to extract deep ice core samples and study climate history locked inside ancient layers. Everything was routine at first. Temperature readings, drilling logs, standard geological surveys. Nothing unusual, nothing unexpected, until the instruments started behaving strangely. At first, it was subtle, a faint anomaly in the magnetic readings, a slight heat signature where there should have been only frozen silence. The team dismissed it as a sensor error, but then it appeared again, stronger, consistent, located far beneath the ice sheet, deeper than their equipment was designed to reach. Something was down there. 040 to 130. The expedition shifted focus. What began as a climate study turned into a targeted investigation. Ground-penetrating radar was deployed across a wider area. Satellite overlays were analyzed repeatedly. Every result pointed to the same conclusion. There was a massive structure buried under the ice. But no official record, no geological map, no historical data showed anything like it. Drilling operations were adjusted. A drone system designed for subglacial exploration was prepared. The scientists expected rock formations, maybe trapped volcanic structures, something natural. But what they were about to see would challenge every assumption they had about Earth itself. 1:30 to 3 o'clock. When the drone was lowered beneath the ice shelf, the signal was unstable at first. Static interference. Fragmented visuals. Then, slowly, shapes began to emerge in the darkness below. Not random formations. Not natural erosion patterns. There were edges, angles, repetition. The drone camera captured something that looked structured, intentional. The team reviewed the footage multiple times, zooming in, enhancing resolution, trying to explain it away as optical distortion. But the deeper the drone traveled, the clearer it became. Something massive was buried beneath the ice. And it was not natural. 3 to 4:30. As the scan continued, the structure became undeniable. Vast geometric formations stretched across the subglacial landscape. Walls, corridors, symmetrical layouts that resembled planning, design, architecture. One researcher finally said what others were afraid to suggest. This looks engineered, but that idea created more problems than answers. Because if it was engineered, then who built it? And when? According to all known history, Antarctica has never supported any advanced civilization. The ice itself is millions of years old in deeper layers. Nothing human should exist that far below. Yet there it was, clearly artificial. The instruments began to struggle. Data streams became unstable. The drone's navigation system flickered unpredictably as if something was interfering with its signals. 4:30 to 6 o'clock. Then the true scale of the discovery revealed itself. The drone camera pulled back slightly, and the structure expanded into view. Not just a building, not just a ruin, but something far larger. It resembled a buried city. Massive, interconnected formations stretched in all directions beneath the ice. Tower-like shapes, aligned corridors, symmetrical hubs that mirrored each other with impossible precision. The architecture defied natural formation completely. One scientist described it as a frozen metropolis. But as excitement grew, so did confusion. Instruments began to malfunction one by one. Depth sensors failed. Compass readings spun uncontrollably. Magnetic interference increased as they moved closer. It was as if the structure itself was reacting to their presence. 6 to 7:30. The situation escalated quickly. Communication with the drone became unstable. Transmission dropped in and out. The live feed began to distort. Audio channels filled with static bursts. Then something even more alarming happened. All navigation systems failed simultaneously. The drone froze in position for several seconds before slowly drifting deeper into the structure on its own, as if pulled by an unseen force. The scientists debated pulling it back immediately. Some argued to abort the mission entirely. Others insisted they were on the verge of the most important discovery in human history. But then came the disturbance. A sudden electromagnetic spike surged through the instruments. Every screen flickered. Every compass locked in random directions. Power fluctuations spread across the base station. Something down there was active. 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Despite the chaos, the drone managed to capture one final stabilized sequence. At the center of the structure, there was something unmistakable. A massive formation resembling an entrance. It was not just a gap in the architecture. It was designed. A towering doorway-like structure carved into the frozen depths, far larger than any human-made monument on Earth. To understand the scale, the footage included a reference point, the research drone itself, appearing microscopic against the colossal entrance. The surface around it contained markings, carvings, symbols that did not match any known language system on Earth. They were arranged with deliberate precision, repeating in patterns that suggested meaning, but not translation. No one in the team could explain it, and no one wanted to be the first to guess what it meant. 9 to 10:30. Then came the order. The tone of the mission changed abruptly. External communication increased. Classified directives began arriving at the station. Access restrictions were imposed on recorded data. Certain footage segments were marked for immediate containment. The scientists were instructed to halt further exploration. No explanation was given publicly. Tension spread through the team. Some believed the government had intervened due to safety concerns. Others suspected something far more serious, that this discovery was never meant to be made public. The deeper question now wasn't just what they had found, but why it had remained hidden for so long. 10:30 to 12 o'clock. Despite the shutdown order, fragments of data were reportedly copied before systems were locked. What emerged from those fragments only deepened the mystery. Scientists involved described emotional shock, silence during debriefs, and refusal to speak on record. One researcher reportedly said, "We were not prepared for what we saw, not even close." Theories began to circulate quietly among the team. Some suggested an ancient civilization, long erased by geological change. Others considered unknown natural processes that mimic architecture. A few, more controversial voices hinted at non-human origins, but no official conclusion was ever confirmed. Everything remained unresolved, and that uncertainty made it worse. 12 to 13:30. Without answers, speculation filled the gap. If this structure was artificial, it would rewrite human history entirely. It would suggest advanced intelligence existed far earlier than any known civilization, possibly before recorded time itself. If it was natural, it would challenge every principle of geology and physics currently understood. And if neither explanation fit, then what else remained? The data showed precision, design, intent, but intent requires a mind. And that question could not be easily dismissed. 13:30 to 1500 hours. As the final footage ends, one question remains unanswered above all others. What is really buried beneath Antarctica? Why was it hidden beneath miles of ice, untouched for millennia? And most importantly, who ordered it to stop? The last recorded frame shows the massive doorway-like structure fading into static as the signal cuts out completely. No further transmission was ever recovered, and the ice above remains unchanged as if nothing ever happened. But the data suggests otherwise. Something is still down there, waiting,